I just picked this up today, and it's a fairly common knife, or at least it used to be, and it's been around a long time. I don't like doing unboxings. I don't like watching unboxings because I find them kind of a waste of time. But in this case, I think this video will be important. So like the title of the video says, this is the Gerber LST drop point, and it's model number 22-06009N. As you can maybe pick up there. So I put this back in the box, but I did take it out and look it over, and I noticed something kind of interesting. So keep in mind, I don't want to disparage Gerber. I'm a big fan of their company, but this product I was kind of disappointed in, and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the Gerber Paraframe. A few reasons why I bought it is: number one, it's a classic; number two, it's cheap; number three, it's lightweight. This is the LST. They also make a slightly smaller version. It's very lightweight. It's almost too light, and it's a fully plastic handle. It has about a 2.5-inch blade, and it's just a very simple, basic design. And I have large hands, and it's surprisingly fairly comfortable for its small stature. However, there's no steel liners in it, which is part of the reason why it's lightweight. Which it certainly is lightweight, but something is lacking. So it came very sharp. Might be hard to see, but it's shaving. There's some hairs on the blade and dry skin, but it came really sharp. The grind profile and all that stuff I like, but I want to just show you, and it might be hard to see because I'm using a poor quality camera, but I'm trying to focus in there. It's going to be hard to see, so let me just illustrate. Number one, it has a lot of side-to-side play. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. The other thing is I brought out a pair of feeler gauges, and bear with me, I'm going to go to 0.032. So this is the thickest one. It's 0.8 millimeters. So if you use the metric system, it's 0.8 millimeters or 0.032. And I was kind of looking at the blade play, and there is some handle separation right here. So I took the biggest size feeler gauge I have, and if you can see that, you can see daylight through, right? And it's kind of a tight fit, but the fact that this fits in there, that's a big gap. And then it locks up good this way, up and down. It's tight. It's a lockback design, and it locks up secure, but even twisting it, you can see maybe there's a lot of play. The other issue is it uses this pin, these two pins. It doesn't use a Torx or a hex head screw. If it used a screw, you'd be able to tighten that up. But with this pin, what's concerning is you have daylight there, and I bear with me, but I hope you can see that on camera. I should have brought a white piece of paper out to reflect the light, but I'll just illustrate this once more. Okay, that's the biggest size feeler gauge I have. What's concerning is I can squeeze the handle and it closes back up. No tools. So at least if that happens, it's tool free. You can squeeze it together and it tightens up again. But then, if you're using this, there's just a substantial amount of side to side blade play. So I know some people will cringe at what I'm about to do, but this is the best way that I can illustrate it. I have it locked in a vise. I'm only going to take a few fingers, okay? And the blade is stationary, and I'm just going to grip it. And the blade's flexing a little bit, but you can see that's kind of unacceptable. So I zoomed out a little bit just so you can see I'm only gripping with a few fingers. And I'm not trying to do some cold steel torture test. I'm not putting much pressure on this. And you can see that that handle separation right there. You can see daylight right there. And like you can see, I'm only gripping with my thumb and finger, and there's just a lot of play. And I change angles a little bit, and you can see the blade is stationary. To me, that's unacceptable. And you can see I'm not putting much pressure. I'm gripping with just, my thumb and my forefinger. And I can even, well, now the blade is moving a little bit. So what am I going to do? Am I going to return this knife? I don't think so. Like I said, I'm out 14 bucks. And I'm going to keep it, I'm going to use it, I'm going to see if it just falls apart, or maybe that is just a trait of this knife. Like I said, this is a really iconic, popular knife, and I'm sad to say, because it is made in America, Portland, Oregon. This is one of their American-made knives, probably one of their cheapest American-made knives. And listen, when they first came out, they might have been really good for a lightweight EDC type of knife. But I'm sad to say, various newer Gerber products that I've bought, like the center drive, the wire cutters that are replaceable, they broke one of the first times I used it to cut wire. I have another multi-tool called the MP1. I have issues with that. And there's a few other Gerber products, which I can't think of off the top of my head, but throughout the years that just, they were very questionable in quality. So, like I said, I don't want to disparage the company. They make a lot of good products, but I don't know if this is one of them, which, some people may disagree because this is an iconic knife, or at least it was in its heyday. And it's still popular today. And I really wanted to like it because it was inexpensive, it was small, it was light. And some people may say, well, that's what you get for a lightweight knife. You get less durability. I disagree. I have various knives that are very lightweight and from other manufacturers that are really tough. So why did I go with this one? Well, because it's lightweight and it's cheap. Well, I was about to say inexpensive, but in this case, it's very cheap. It feels like a little plastic toy. In reality, if this was a little bit tougher, this would be an excellent field dressing knife, for deer hunting, for small game, to dress out birds, squirrels, rabbits, oh my. The size and the scalpel-like geometry of this blade would have made it phenomenal at that, and it being stainless steel, it would be less likely to corrode around moisture and salt. But frankly, Like I said, it's inexpensive and it's lightweight, but it's cheap. And I mean cheap, I don't mean inexpensive. It's cheap in price, and I hate to say it, but cheap in quality too. So like I said, the main reason I'm doing this video is kind of a public service announcement. Maybe Gerber will see this video and say, hey, we need to revise that design. Now, they do have a newer design called the US1, and I'm probably going to pick that one up and see if that one is built tougher, and maybe they made that one for the shortcomings of this one. What's strange to me is this knife is so iconic and so prolific, and a lot of guys, especially military and law enforcement guys back in the 80s and 90s, this was a really common soldier knife and law enforcement knife. You know, soldier knife, there's probably millions of guys that carried one of these on deployment, and all they used it for was to open MREs and to cut rope. And that's about it. And I'm sure it served them fine. And that's what's so disappointing, is this being a new production. I'm wondering if it's a step down in quality for cost savings or whatever. Like I said, I don't like to do unboxings. I find them a waste of time. But in this case, this might have helped some people out. So like always, you can go back to my homepage, watch my current videos. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.